Hey guys, so it's Lynx, and as promised, we are going to go over some, financial stuff, some wealth building stuff. Hopefully, I can give you guys some insight in terms of just my own experience. I definitely don't claim to be an expert. I'm not a financial planner or anything like that. I just went through it. And given that I went through it, it's just, share the experience, share the knowledge. Hopefully, you guys will benefit. So this first part is all about assessing your situation. Now, assessing your situation takes a lot of honesty, a lot of hard, real, honest assessment of what it is you spend your money on. So what you're going to first do is take a week, just a week, and keep every single receipt. Keep every receipt. And you're going to look at what you're spending your money on. Now I know everyone's heard this before, but no one seems to know it. It's 100% a reality. You have to do this. If you don't know where your money is going, you won't know what you can do without and how you can save. So you definitely want to go through and just make sure that you ask for a receipt every time you spend something, whether it's with a card, whether it's with cash. If you buy something online, print out the receipt or save it or somehow record it. Make down a spreadsheet of everything that you've spent, and you'll come up with a weekly number. This should include gas. This should include food. If you're eating out, this should include how much your grocery bill is every week. This should be if you're spending money on cleaning your clothing, all of that shit. And what that'll do is it'll give you a nice window as to, okay, I spent $45 this week eating out, and I really didn't have to. You could have saved that $45. You could take that $45, put it in a separate bank account. Bank accounts. Bank accounts are amazing, especially if you are doing the whole electronic banking thing, because it's all right there for you to look at. You want to have two separate bank accounts. You want to have one bank account that is just for your personal spending. You want to have another bank account that is going to be for everything else. It's where your bills are going to come out of. It's where any kind of extra money can go. It doesn't necessarily have to be a savings account. Savings accounts are great, and you should definitely have one. But if you want to keep things less complicated, two accounts is all you really need, because you're only really ever using your personal account. So you take account of all your bills every single month, when they're due, how they're due. You split up your paycheck every single week or every 2 weeks to make sure that you have covered every single bill. And if you don't have enough money in your paycheck to cover every single bill and you find yourself behind, you're living above your means. Everybody wants to have these luxuries, and you feel like, oh, I work hard, I should be able to enjoy this. No. Money isn't made for you to just give it away. And if you're living above your means, there's no way you can ever get ahead. Ever. If you can't pay your credit card bill, you don't need to use that credit card. If you can't make at least a minimum monthly payment, but what you're gonna want to do is actually make more than the minimum and or do a payoff at the end of the month. You're gonna want to make sure that if it's cable and you have cable internet, you better look at DSL and get a landline and call it a day. Let go of the cable. You don't need it. If you have World of Warcraft and you can't afford it, well, god damn it, get rid of it. Living above your means is a surefire way to remain a slave to debt and a slave to your job. And the whole point is freedom, right? So you're living below your means. You're keeping track of all your money, what you're going to do with your spending money, and you really should only be giving yourself as much as you can afford. You want to make sure all your bills are paid. I know a lot of people will say pay yourself first. No, don't pay yourself first. Pay your bills, because those are the things that will hit a credit report. Those are the things that will, if you get behind, are very difficult to catch up on. Do not get behind. I don't care if it's your own mother asking you for help. This is your credit. This is your future. Your parents should definitely be understanding of the fact that, hey, I don't have it like that where I can give you $600 because I'm trying to, live my life without being poor. It's not even a matter of having all this excess cash. It's a matter of taking care of yourself. The reality is if you can actually take care of yourself and have a little extra left over, that little extra you can do things with that will make money for you. That would be stocks. That would be mutual funds. Mutual funds are great. Mutual funds are great because they diversify where your money goes. It's basically like playing stocks, except you're not picking the stock. Somebody else is picking the stocks for you, and your money it grows, which is worth it. But that's the first part, and it's one of the most difficult parts. You have to be honest. If you're like, oh, well, this coffee doesn't count. No, that coffee does count, because that's $1.25, or if you go to Starbucks, $20 that you could put aside somewhere and have a nest egg to purchase a home. That's a lot of goals for us, is to purchase a home, purchase a car. You can't do any of these things if you cannot assess your situation. You have to be able to live on a budget, which means if you give yourself $125, like my budget for myself is $125 every week. That includes my gas, that includes any spending money I want to spend, if I want to go out and have a drink, whatever. Once that money's gone, it's gone. So you want to try, and of course you don't want to deal with bank fees and everything else, so that should help keep you from spending all of it, but live on that budget. If you see that you spend $150 a week on groceries and they're all name brands, there's no difference. Go with the store brand, save some money, it's worth the effort. Eating out is more expensive than eating in. Eating out is more expensive to your health than eating in. If you don't know how to cook, I suggest you learn. It's a situation where, the difference between $5 to make a meal that can actually last you 2 or 3 days versus 20, 30, 40 bucks for, a pizza and some fries and shit, or whatever the hell else people want to order. If you cannot afford it, don't do it. You can't afford to eat out every night. Nobody can, except they're rich. And you don't want to waste your money. It's not about giving your money back to the man that gave it to you. So I hope this first one is a little helpful. It gets a little better once we start talking about your credit, which is the next one, and then looking for a home and the process of purchasing a home. But this first step, very first step, and if you can't do this, be resigned to being a slave for the rest of your life. That very first step is assessing your situation, being honest about what you need versus what you want, and then in order of importance, you go down what you want. What you need is always going to be what you need. If you need medication, then you need to make sure that there's money put aside for that medication. You need it. But do you need to go to the movies 3 times a week? No. Do you need to buy video games twice a month? No, you don't. You don't need to do any of that. Which one of those is more important to you? Well, if you're a movie buff, movies might be more important to you. So how about you forego the video games and you only do the movies once a month? You have to be honest about what you can live with and what you can't live without. And that's it. If you're not going to be honest about it, and if you're not going to be disciplined about it, because the discipline, this is what makes it hard. The honesty and the discipline. If you know that you smoke a pack a day and they're $10 a pack, switch to vaping. Why? Because for $12 you can buy a bottle of nicotine that will last you a month, and that's $12. So understand, $12 versus in a 7-day week, $70+ for cigarettes. Do you need it? You don't, and it's only damaging your health anyway. You have to make those changes, and if you are not willing to make those changes, this is not ever going to work. Nothing I say from this point forward is going to amount to a hill of beans. I know this sounded like easy stuff, but you have to crawl before you walk, and I wasn't going to go into the process of credit and fixing your credit or establishing your credit without giving you how to use a pencil, how to use the paper, how to use pens. So that's what you got. That's what this is all about. You guys are going to come away with a lot of information and a lot of knowledge that will enable you to actually free yourself. I'm thinking that a bonus is going to be how to work for yourself on the side. Because if you have the discipline to get up in the morning and work for the man, then you've got the discipline to get up in the morning and work for yourself. But don't get it twisted. Sometimes you still have to work for the man while working towards your independence of the man. And I'll go over that too. That'll be the bonus at the very end of the series. I guess would be video number 5 on Friday. Otherwise, this has been Lynx Savage with your morning commute. I'm hoping that you guys, like, subscribe, share. Definitely share. Information and knowledge is power. So like, subscribe, share. Check out the Big Boy Project, which is a project I'm a part of, and these videos will be hosted there. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe to Brutal Lynx. You can check me out on Twitter at Lynx Savage. You can look up Brutal Lynx on Facebook and like the Facebook page. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully today is the day that you begin your financial freedom. Remember, honesty, receipts, honesty, receipts, discipline. Without those 3, it's not going to work. Catch you guys later.